Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about my new thoroughbred mare that I got, and I'm going to warn you, it's kind of sad. Part of the beginning's going to be kind of tough, and so is her story, but it's also going to cover months before I got her and the month after I got her. So I'm going to cover a very large timeline in a small amount of time. So just kind of bear with me and I hope you all enjoy the video. Hey everyone, so sorry for the recording quality. This is on my cell phone since I am currently getting ready to leave. It is about 8 o'clock at night. I have finished all my chores for the night and I'm actually getting ready to head to Starshine to pick up my new project horse. She is a thoroughbred. Her name is Ginger, and she's actually an off the track, so she's raced a couple times. I'll give you more info about her and why she's at Starshine on our trip there. So let's head out. So let me give you some history. As some of you know, I have commented and posted on in my last video, I believe, that I am looking at this thoroughbred mare, and I was really interested. They wanted a kind of a high price tag for her. That's because she was still pretty young and she had raced and actually won in a lot of her races. So I decided to go all in and get her. And it took a lot of work because I had to have her transferred in from Tennessee. Well, Golden is not set up for a 30-day quarantine like you're supposed to do with out-of-country horses. So I had to take her to had her shipped to Starshine because they're set up for a large, long time stay, whereas I am not so much. So she got to Starshine, and I couldn't be there due to circumstances back in Golden, and I got the saddest message from the people there saying that she came in and she looked terrible. And so then they sent me this picture of her. Let's just say, when I saw this picture, I was devastated because this is not what I expected. She had clear signs of abuse, and it wasn't just from the shipment itself, because some of it had been from shipping. I guess she had thrown herself around a lot in the shipping box, on the plane, and then in the trailer itself. Some of them were old scars, old bruises that just were not acceptable. So thankfully, the veterinary team at the Starshine Ranch were able to work with her and get her physically healthy. But the mental scars from her abuse are still there, and that is what I'm going to have to work with and heal. So it's actually going to be pretty late by the time we get there, but I'm ready to work with her. I want to help her get past all this trauma that she's been through and help her out more. And then I found out, of course, that they barely had her broke to even ride in the races. So I get to basically re-break her because she's barely even green broke. So what I was told and what I ended up with and what I'm finding out are two completely different things. Goes to show you should never just trust what they say on the internet, even though I never do. But I should have gone with my gut when they wanted a high price for that horse. So it is currently really, really late, and I am not driving all the way back tonight because that was like a 4-hour drive. So yeah, no, not happening again tonight. Well, I'll just get up early in the morning and take her, load her up, finally actually get to see her now that she's all nice and healthy, and then we'll load up and head home after I, of course, do paperwork and all that other fun, good stuff that comes with getting a horse from out of country. Alright, good morning, everybody. So, as you can see, it is still very early in the morning, very cold, and snowing. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun drive home. So, I head down, and I found out they have her in the outdoor stables right now because apparently she was having issues in the indoor stables with one of the horses. So, yes. But I'm gonna head down. I'm probably gonna take her out, get to see her, take her out, and then I'll put her in the paddock for a little bit while I go do paperwork and basically get everything loaded up and packed up and ready to go for the trip home. So once I got all the way down there, she was pretty easy to find. She was the only chestnut and horse in the stables. So she seemed pretty hot actually and stuff, but she was easy to halter and she actually led really well. And I couldn't see any injuries anymore. I was amazed at how healthy she looked and really how amazing she looked after her time there at Starshine. So now I put her out in the paddock, just let her get some energy out, and I just kind of want to watch her, see what she does. And she trotted around and then went up to the fences and started trying to find a way out. She'd go up to the fences and she was interesting to say the least when it came to being out in the pasture. So after about an hour and a half and a lot of paperwork, I got her out and walked over to the hitching post so that I could get some shipping wraps on her because I didn't have any shipping boots, so I just decided to put some leg wraps on her instead, which she was really good and calm for. I was very happy. And then, of course, we headed back up to the trailer. And you can actually tell a lot about a horse just by how they walk and how they act going from point A to point B, just being led by you. And she was actually pretty calm. I was surprised based on a lot of what they told me about her, from the veterinary staff to the people just leading her around in and out of pastures and helping change bandages. She was acting completely different than what everyone expected. And then, of course, we went to load in the trailer, and that in itself, no, she refused. It took about 20 minutes to get her to agree to go into the trailer. After that, I got it all closed up and headed back home to Golden. So, once we were back in Golden, she had clearly turned herself around before I actually grabbed her. She undid herself somehow. I don't know. I'm kind of impressed. But she didn't seem too worse for wear after our 4-hour drive home. So, I just kind of wanted to get her inside and get her settled in with her new neighbors. So once I had her inside, I just wanted to get her in her stall, get her comfortable, and let her get used to everything. She already had some hay in there, and I was just going to let her eat that and have the night crew give her some more hay and check her waters, of course. And then I would be back tomorrow to check on her and make sure everything was fine.
So today, it's been 2 days since she's been here. Some of the morning people have tried turning her out, but she hasn't been very good. So today I'm going to turn her out myself. And based on what they said, she's been rearing, so hence why I have my helmet on. I want to protect myself, mainly my head. And I also had to change my horses around because she got in a huge nasty fight with my two stallions, Ace and Dragon, that were on either side of her. So I had to switch my barn around a little bit. But once I got her halter and I took her out, she seemed like a different horse. For some reason, she acted like she trusted me more than she trusted the barn crew, more than she trusted those that were feeding her hay and her grain. I have a feeling it's something to do with what they did to her when she was still a racehorse. So I'm going to put her out for a little bit, kind of watch her, see what she does, and then, go from there.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you've lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
So after her little run around in the paddock for a couple hours, actually, she was super sweaty, so I decided to take her for a small little hand walk around a part of Golden, down towards the water where it's a little bit cooler, and up and around, like a little trail that we have. She had really calmed down a lot after her ride, so here's our little walk around.
We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We all have our reasons why we are on this track. Oh, we all have our burdens.
So after our walk around, she had cooled off pretty well, and I was pretty proud of how she had handled some of the horses running around out there. Then again, I think she had exhausted herself. So I was going to put her away, and I'll be doing that for the next 3 weeks, maybe. Alright, so today is our first day of lunging. She was a bit of a handful to tack up, so we'll see what she's like on the lunge line.
Know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
she's done a lot better than I thought she would. Of course, she had a full-on rearing fest because she got upset with me because she couldn't understand what I wanted, which was just her to go. But she stayed on the circle pretty well, even with everything going on around her. And I think after about 3 weeks of this, she will actually come along very well. That smug look you just gave me, child. Ugh. So today is going to be the actual first day of getting on and trying to ride her. So I'm using Western because it's got a little more umph to it, and if she tries to take me off, I have something to hang on to, try to stay on. Extra help. And then so I'm getting on and off a couple times because I did do some weight training with her with some other stuff, but now we're at the point where the only best thing I can do is actually ride her. So after I did that for about 15 minutes, getting on and off, we started walking around. And at first, it was great till she reared, and it all went downhill. She took off galloping, and I mean full bore running for it. I kind of just hung on and directed her because I knew stopping her was not really going to be much of an option. So I just let her run herself around. And then she tried to take me off by coming to a very abrupt halt and rearing, which did not work. I then made her go into a circle because she doesn't get to choose when we stop and when we go, is I choose. So we did small circles for a while till she reared. Then she took off again. I still had control over where she was going. And then finally I just said, you know what, you're done. And I did a hard rein to the right. And I got her to slow down, and then she reared because she was not happy, and then I made her slow down. And it turned into another rearing fit. So then, after I think the 40th time of rearing, I don't know, I lost track. She actually calmed down, and we trotted and walked around the arena for a while just to cool her off because she had worked herself up into a beautiful sweat with all the running around and going craziness. Then after about 20 minutes of walking her around and cooling her off, instead of leading her back to the barn, I decided to walk her back, well, in the saddle still, because I didn't want her to, freak out, and I didn't feel like being dragged everywhere. Because I was hurting from that bit of a bucking bronco ride. It's been a while since I've had to work with a horse that's very green. So my body was very upset with me about that. So it's been a while now, and she's doing good. I foresee good things coming from her. My hope is to turn her into a 3-day eventer and have her take over for Ace, my eventer I have at the moment, my Andalusian stallion, because he's starting to show his age, and I'm hoping she can be the one that takes over and kind of takes on his legacy. He's been a great horse. It's just his arthritis is starting to really get to him, and I'm not going to push him. So my hope is to get her trained into 3-day and get her competing. I'm probably going to ship her to a friend of mine who is got a training facility going to continue her training there for the rest of the year. But we'll see. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and Ginger's story. I will be posting updates about her on here and on my Instagram. So keep eyes out for her. Bye, everyone.